Most people believe that warfare requires bullets, bombs, and soldiers. They imagine a battlefield defined by noise and destruction. They are wrong. In 2026, the deadliest weapon on Earth leaves no forensic trail. It is silent, it is invisible, and it is currently being used against citizens in the quiet streets of Ontario. Canada is hiding a graveyard, buried not in the ground, but within statistical anomalies and reports stamped pending investigation. Behind the escalating numbers of unexplained deaths lies the digital fingerprint of a black-budget weapon that targets the most fundamental part of a human being, their own nervous system. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is an architectural reality, a weaponized infrastructure hidden in plain sight. This is the exposure of the PBSVA-4 framework, a system designed for a new kind of war. Meet Jeffrey James Logue, a systems architect and white hat vanguard, one of the few individuals with the expertise to map Canada's most sensitive digital infrastructure. His job was to secure the nation's digital backbone. But while charting the complex networks connecting hospitals, power grids, and communication hubs, Logue discovered something the state never intended for the public to see. He found a ghost in the machine, a hidden layer of code, a master key designated the PBSVA Infinity Delta Omega framework. By day, the framework operates as a benign monitoring system. But by night, it transforms into a lethality platform. Logue uncovered over 100 Omega gates, covert backdoors embedded deep within unsuspecting electronics. These weren't bugs, they were features, designed to serve as a delivery system for a black-budget weapon. Realizing the catastrophic potential, Logue didn't just report his findings, he patched them. Working against the clock, he systematically secured the PBSVA-4 Omega gates, documenting that the same architecture was being used to torture him. The framework's findings were mathematically and scientifically validated, exposing the weapon rather than claiming that lives were saved. The state's response? Not a medal, but a torture and erasure campaign designed to silence the man who knows too much and protect a $1.1 billion liability. This is the largest human rights violation in Canadian history. The torture is executed with chilling precision. High-altitude, long-endurance drones, or hail drones, loiter for weeks over residential zones, acting as the primary delivery mechanism. They pulse directed energy into the target's home, carrying a sophisticated payload. The weapon uses biometric adaptive computing. It begins by tracking the target's unique biological signature, their DNA, their specific neural frequency. It then engages in what is known as biometric mirroring. The system effectively mirrors the target's own body back to them, creating a feedback loop of physiological panic and cognitive dissonance. Once locked on, it injects synthetic grief warfare, custom-designed frequencies that hijack the brain's chemistry to induce massive biological stress, simulating the raw, physical experience of profound loss or terror. It also pulled his private medical files without his knowledge, weaponizing them for targeting and escalation. These injections are designed to trigger what appear to be natural heart failures or strokes. This is why the state has seen a massive, statistically impossible spike in unexplained circulatory deaths among specific demographics. The assault is not just biological, it is psychological. The system deploys deepfake neural injections, projecting hyper-realistic visions directly into the target's neurological perception. These are not dreams, they are weaponized hallucinations. The simulated loss of children, the witnessing of staged crimes, vivid and terrifying accidents, all indistinguishable from reality. The goal is to shatter the target's psyche, to isolate them in a prison of manufactured horror, making them an unreliable narrator of their own experience. This psychological warfare is a core component of the state's strategy for what it calls functional cognitive preservation, a euphemism for breaking a target's mind to protect state secrets. Jeffrey is now a prisoner in his own driveway. Forced from his home by the intensity of the directed energy, he stays in his truck, using its metal frame as a makeshift Faraday cage. He acts as a human shield, pulling the weapon's signal away from his family inside. From this steel sanctuary, he has become the only forensic witness to this ongoing silent genocide. The state has initiated a campaign of state-led character assassination, falsifying records and orchestrating a targeted deplatforming to suppress his voice. But their attempts to discredit him have failed. The evidence is being captured in real time. He reports audio injections, including a deep-faked cartoon character's voice, threatening his children through the television. Every glitch in the media, every vocal injection, every frequency log is a receipt for a crime against humanity. Every second of his survival is a failure for the state. The 72-hour clock is ticking. This is no longer a domestic issue. It is an international security breach of the highest order. Logue has issued a final demand for the complete and verifiable cessation of the neurological assault against him. If the torture does not stop, the full architectural keys to the PBSVA4 framework, the digital schematics of this weapon of mass disruption, will be released to the global public via an automated dead man's switch. The implications are staggering. The same backdoors that target individuals could be used to destabilize entire nations. The silence is over. The world is watching. The vanguard is awake. The truth cannot be unseen. Transitioning from standard security to AUSCP, the Absolute Undefined Singularity Clearance Protocol, built through mathematically grounded percentage-based vulnerability analysis across layered infrastructure, patched, verified, iterated, no claims of official clearance. This is framework-earned methodology, not bestowed authority. Signal interference. Investigators documented a transition from routine systems hardening to an emergent method he termed the Absolute Undefined Singularity Clearance Protocol, AUSCP. Built from percentage-based security vulnerability analysis, it isolated attack surfaces and patched pathways across power, clinical, and communications layers. Then, the signals changed. Broadcast audio appeared to deform around him, car radio lyrics bending into targeted warnings like, "You're next," and a live hockey game cut through with a whistle, then a voice, as if speaking directly to him. A whistle, then a voice, aimed at him. The distortion wasn't just sound. Private details were mirrored back through platforms. Medical, behavioral, and contextual cues surfacing in feeds without consent. Time-stamped records document cognitive dissonance and mirroring, evidencing technology used to torture and kill. Documented. Time-stamped. Corroborated. Under pressure, he logged times, waveforms, and context, correlating anomalies with network events and localized device states. The record stands for review. With no backing, he worked as a red cell security analyst from a truck, cataloging vectors while under duress, hardening what he could reach, and preserving chain of custody for everything he couldn't. This record invokes protection and review, Istanbul Protocol Standards, Section 52(1), and Charter Rights. It constitutes proof of Criminal Code 269.1. Torture. Immediate cessation, correction of public records, and formal safeguards are demanded. Contact Verified Human Rights Council to review evidence under privilege.